Hello everyone, welcome to today's deck profile. Quick disclaimer before I start. Today I'm doing a fairly popular deck within the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, so I realize that some people are very determined and think that their deck profile is far superior, as any popular deck must have. So just a reminder that these videos are just my taste, how I personally play it. No one has to play these exactly the way I do. This is just my recommendation for the deck, for ratios and such. That being said, today's deck profile are Toons. This is a very fun deck based around cartoon version of our favorite dual monsters that can attack your opponent directly if they do not control any Toons. Very fun deck. I tend to play a more control variant of the deck, but I really enjoy it. It's really goofy, funny, and it is ridiculously searchable with all the different cards that they have. So without further ado, let me go ahead and hop into the deck profile for you all. Starting it off, we've got 3 copies of Toon Cyber Dragon. It has the exact same effect as Cyber Dragon does. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monster, you special summon this card from your hand. It cannot attack the turn it is summoned. And if you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this card can attack directly. So Toon Cyber Dragon is definitely a fantastic way to go second. You normally want to go first with this deck, but Toon Cyber Dragon cannot hurt. Worst case scenario, it's a big booty for going second. Next up, I play 3 copies of Toon Mermaid. It has a lot of effects. Same Toon effect that if your opponent controls no Toons, you can punch directly with it by paying 500 life points for this one. Really, the only effect I care about on this is if you control Toon World, you can special summon Toon Mermaid, meaning it is free tribute fodder for something like a Toon Dark Magician or a Toon Dark Magician Girl. So that's really its only purpose. Unlike a new addition to the Toons, Toon Harpy Lady. This came out in Toon Chaos and has the effect that if you control Toon World, you can special summon this card. Then if you control another Toon monster, destroy a spell or trap on the field. It has the same Toon effect. You can attack directly if your opponent controls no Toons. This one, I use its first effect, the Pop a Spell or Trap. That one's fantastic. It's also great tribute fodder for your Dark Magician Girl, Red Eyes. Next up, the boss monster of the deck. 3 copies of Toon BLS. It has the same Toon effect, where if your opponent controls no Toons, you can punch directly with it. It also has the effect that you can special summon it. It can't be normal summon or set. It must be special summoned by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal 8. So it's kind of that ritual summon effect that you would get from the original BLS. Once per turn, he can banish a monster on the field. Actually, I think it's a card. Yeah, he can banish a card on the field, and he can't attack that turn, but if you summon him the first turn, it's not like he's attacking anyway. Fantastic. Definitely the boss monster of the deck. Next up is Toon Dark Magician Girl. Toon Dark Magician Girl has the effect that it can be special summoned by tributing 1 Toon monster while you control Toon World. It can attack the turn it's summoned, unlike the other Toons, and it gains 300 attack and defense for each Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. The last effect doesn't really come up, but this is a great way to kind of punch in turn 2 if you are going second. So definitely a 3 of. I play Toon Gemini Elf. It's a 4 that will allow you to rip a card out of your opponent's hand if it deals damage to your opponent. It's fine. You can honestly replace this with any Toon card you want. Any Toon monster, that is. You can play Ancient Gear Golem if you're feeling extra flustered, or Buster Blader if you're playing dragons. For one of the better monsters you can summon, Toon Dark Magician. Once per turn, you can discard a Toon card to either special summon a Toon monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions, meaning you can summon that BLS, or add a Toon spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Fantastic 2 tribute monster. Really great card. You could honestly sub in a 3rd copy of this instead of Elf. And the last one, I'm playing 2 Red Eyes Toon Dragon. This will allow you to special summon a Toon from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions, which is just fantastic to get something like your BLS or Dark Magician to keep comboing off. Moving on to the spells, starting off with Toon Kingdom. This is your Toon World. You can activate it by banishing 3 cards from the top of your deck face down. This card becomes Toon World while on the field. Toon monsters cannot be targeted for card effects, and if a Toon monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 card from the top of your deck face down for each of those monsters that would be destroyed. Fantastic. It's protection. It's your Toon World. It's a great card. Now is Toon Table of Contents. Anyone who's ever looked at an FTK deck knows exactly what this card is. It pretty much lets you add any Toon card from deck to hand. Fantastic search card. Don't really need to say too much more about it. I am playing 3 copies of Toon Bookmark. This allows you to add a Toon World or a card that lists Toon World in its card text, which pretty much allows you to really grab anything in the deck aside from Toon Table of Contents. And then if a Toon World was destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card from grave instead, so it gives your field spell protection as well. 3 copies of Toon Page Flip. While you control Toon World, reveal 3 Toon monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly selects 1 to special summon to your field, ignoring summoning conditions. You can only activate it once per turn. This will grab, usually you want to reveal your BLS, your Dark Magician, and your Red Eyes. One of them hits the field, and you can immediately continue with your plays, whether it's just punching or anything like that. Finally, 1 Comcand. I think it's funny. You can search it with your Toon Bookmark. It takes control of one of your opponent's monsters while you control Toon World, and that monster becomes a Toon, meaning you can then attack directly if your opponent doesn't control a Toon. It's a really funny card. That's mainly why I play it. Plus, it's decent removal. Next up, for the traps, I play 3 copies of Toon Briefcase. If your opponent summons a monster while you control a Toon monster, shuffle that monster into the deck. Pretty simple. Great removal. It's kind of like a pseudo-solemn for the deck. And finally, 3 copies of Toon Terror. If your opponent would activate a spell, trap, or monster effect while you control both a Toon monster and Toon World, negate the activation, destroy the card. It's a great going first card along with your Toon Briefcase to kind of ensure your opponent can't set up too well. But otherwise, there are not too many combos within the deck. It's mainly dependent on which Toons you have and how your opponent's playing. Because with cards like Bookmark and Table of Contents, you can just kind of keep searching throughout the entirety of the duel for little to no cost. That's all I have for you all. Thank you for watching. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.